With the upcoming release of NBA 2K24, I've decided to put together a list of my favorite NBA 2K games in the series. I'd love to know what you guys think of my tier. I have made this rating out of 5. So let me know what you think. There could be some controversial picks. I'd love to know what you guys think. This is my personal 5. Let's get into it. We start with number 5. NBA 2K14. The first game on the new next-gen consoles. Just look at these graphics, man. Now, this, honestly, is probably the best-looking NBA 2K game to date. We had our first look at the park, our first little entry to the park. I mean, these acting scenes, we don't want to talk about them. But like I said, this was definitely one of the best-looking 2K games, and man, did it play. Probably one of the greatest simulation NBA 2K games to date. Man. Now, this really set the standard for this next-gen consoles that were to release. I mean, NBA 2K14, I had probably the most fun in playing this. The game was smooth. It was probably one of the best representations of NBA 2K there has been to date. I mean, these graphics, crazy. I don't know how the graphics got worse as the years went on, but like I said, this was definitely one of the funnest games that I played in the 2K series. I've got it at number 5. I'd love to know what you guys think. I mean, I'm putting it in my top 5 for presentation alone. The presentation of this game, definitely the most fun. Let me know what you guys think. 2K14, one of my favorite NBA 2K games to play. Number 4 in this rating system, NBA 2K10. Now, some people might say, hey, why not put in 2K17 or 2K, I would say 12? 2K10 was my first introduction in the NBA 2K series, and I mean, it honestly had to make the list. I had so much fun with this game. I remember I played a full season, a full 82-game season. Now, my career, this was the first time we got to look at my career as well. And honestly, this was the first time I started watching Chris Smoove. This, I mean, just that alone puts it in my top 5. Chris Smoove really brought me to the 2K, I would say, S of gaming and really the YouTube game. This is where it all started. So, NBA 2K10, I mean, that NBA Today, the first look. My career was so much fun on this one. I mean, my career, you could play in the G League. I think back then it was the G League. I mean, maybe the D-League. I mean, I can't even remember. But man, this was so much fun. Even the graphics for this game, for being on this type of console, was really good. I mean, it was actually really good for Xbox 360. And like I said, my first little insight into NBA 2K series, so much fun, NBA 2K10. Number 3 in the series, and this one might be a little bit controversial. I went with NBA 2K19. Now, the reason I went for this one is because this is where I played the most Park. I had really, really fun experiences playing this one, and I feel like Park here was goated. I honestly think it was. I mean, NBA 2K16's Park was really good, but like I said, I probably played the most Park on this one. Some of the events were so much fun. I remember getting into Rec. Rec was huge on NBA 2K19. Now, this top 5 list, you guys might say, hey, but these aren't the best 2K games. In my opinion, for me, these were some of my favorite 2K games. I mean, I think I honestly played over 1,000 Park games, and that's why I want to really get back into Park for NBA 2K24. I mean, bring the squad back. Our squad, I think we only lost 30 games on the Park. I mean, it was something ridiculous. We just kept playing. We did drop off some big YouTubers. We played in the big events. And, I mean, NBA 2K19 for the Park side of it, I really loved it. I mean, it was probably one of the first times where you had the real simple Park. I mean, I kind of wish they had the opportunity to bring in, like, Park affiliates in this one, because Park affiliates in NBA 2K16 and 17, man, they were huge. Like I said, NBA 2K19, so much fun on this one. I grinded this game absolutely ridiculously. I mean, I do not want to look at what my, I would say, hours on this game would be, but let me know. I mean, honestly, let me know in the comment section down below, what NBA 2K did you guys grind the most? Was it NBA 2K 16, 17? Was it 22? I didn't play too much Park in NBA 2K23, but like I said previously, I want to return to Park, and honestly, the way the Park is looking this year, I'm honestly so excited, and I mean, hopefully it brings back the memories of NBA 2K19, because we played a lot of Pro-Am on this. Hopefully we can get Pro-Am back into the fold of it, but let me know what you guys think. Was 2K19 a dub for you guys? I mean, honestly, the Park was simple. It wasn't so big. I really, really enjoyed it. Let's get in to number 2. Number 2 on my tier list, it has to be NBA 2K16. NBA 2K16 for me is probably arguably the best NBA 2K game, best NBA simulation game represented. I mean, this was honestly between NBA 2K17 fitting it in there, but I really wanted to put in 19 just for the park. But man, NBA 2K16, like I said, I honestly think this was the best representation of NBA basketball. I mean, all the bigs looked big, the smalls played small, the speed, the players. This was, like I said, it honestly, man, I've honestly gone back and played this a few times. Now, this actually had I would say like a mode where every single game felt different. Some players were hot, some players were cold. Now, this is some highlights of my previous NBA 2K career that I actually played, and man, this was where it all started for me, in the sense of really taking my time, getting that 21, really taking my time on career. I tried to really build this player up, and I had so much fun. This career mode was elite, and I mean, we've got to talk about the park. I think this was the best representation of park that we've seen. I mean, NBA 2K17, yes, is up there, but for 16 to have the affiliates, this was, like I said, probably the best representation of park and the most fun I've ever had. I would say getting into the online sphere of gaming. I mean, NBA 2K19, you can argue that's where I said I played most of my time, but man, NBA 2K16, so much fun. I've actually recently downloaded it, and I've got some plans for a few videos. That was my number 2. Now let's get to number 1. Number 1 is the greatest of all time, NBA 2K11. For me, this is the best NBA 2K game. Now, not in the sense of simulation and representation, but for me, in the sense of how much this got me into my career. And I mean, this is arguably the greatest of all time NBA 2K. Some people might say NBA 2K17 should be in this list, and I honestly believe it should. If I was to go back and do it again, maybe I'd fit it in over 2K19. But for me, NBA 2K11 is the greatest of all time career series I've ever played. I mean, I'm going to be real, I could probably put that down to Chris Smoove. Chris Smoove, Miami Heat Chris Smoove. But honestly, the Jordan challenges, everything in this game, the way your career went, it honestly brings me back. I mean, this was before we had VC as well, and we know everything with the microtransactions. But for me, NBA 2K11 is the greatest of all time in the sense of the grind. Feeling like it was my player, you could unlock. There was no microtransactions, and I mean, that's what I really put it down to. No microtransactions, no opportunity to spend money, no pay to win. This was just basketball at its purest, and I mean, bring it back. Bring it back. NBA 2K11, one of my favorite NBA 2Ks ever, and I mean, if you ask a 2K ahead, they probably will agree with you. I mean, there isn't much to really, I would say, go against. This is definitely one of the greatest NBA 2Ks of all time, and that is why it's my number 1. Now, like I said, I wish I could have put in NBA 2K17, because when I look back, that was one of the greatest, but I had to go with 16. It was either 16 or 17 for me, and I went with NBA 2K16. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this rating. If you guys are excited for NBA 2K24, please let me know. I honestly cannot wait. I am so excited, and I can't wait to bring you this type of content on the channel. Thank you for 30K, and I'll see you guys on NBA 2K24. It is time!